It's a trucking, transportation, and lifestyle show like none other.
Man, you call this a life?
Road Gang Radio is back for another half hour of the best transpo show in the known universe.
We come in peace. Well, actually, we're falling to pieces.
Let's see if we can achieve liftoff, Phone Master Dre.
We indeed achieved liftoff because we got Lindsay in Nashville, we got Jimmy in Ohio, we got Andre in New Orleans, and we're all doing fine. Ain't that right?
Well, and we got Shahina coming somewhere from over the pond, I think, right?
Yeah, you got it. You get it.
Come
Oh
on,
my
let's
God.
go. Hi. Well, first of all,
fired
I'm going
up.
to give you this. I'm going to give you this long intro, but I want to make sure I'm saying it right. Is it Shahina Wasim?
Absolutely perfect. Thank you.
Ooh.
I love being perfect, and you sound like a badass. Okay, here we go, guys. Get your milk ready because things are about to heat up. I'm also going to find out if that's a myth or not. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Fire
But
at the Taco Bell!
Today on the show, we have none other than Shahina Wasim, better known as the UK Chilli Queen. Shahina Wasim, the UK Chilli Queen. That's just fun to say. I'm going to say it all day. All right, she is the undisputed champion of the competitive chili eating world. In the world. She's undefeated in 97 contests. Let me say that again. 97 contests without a single loss. Okay. She's one of the stars of the hit Hulu and Disney Plus docuseries called SUPERHOT, the spicy world of pepper people. Come on. And she's helped bring this once underground scene into the mainstream. Thanks to the League of Fire, which is, by the way, the official global ranking body for chili eating. Yes, it's a thing. Spicy challenges are now a recognized international sport, guys, complete with, they've got title belts, they've got championships across continents, and an official world ranking system. So think UFC or WWE, but instead of punches or pile drives, they said there's people face down in ghost peppers. Let's go. And hot sauces that are melting paint off the wall, so to speak. So, and Shahina, she doesn't just compete. She's also helping shape the sport behind the scenes. She arranges contests and helps run the League of Fire worldwide. Her story is incredible. She's a badass. We can't wait to talk to her and find out why the heck she does this. We're intrigued. Shahina, welcome to the show, friend.
Wow, thank you so much for such a wonderful introduction. I'm honored to be on your show. Thank you for having me.
Well, honored to have you. And by the way, Jim, you saw, I know you went to the website. Shahina's a beautiful, bold badass outside of also being a competitive chili eater. Like, I saw your face, and I'm like, oh, I want you both as my friend and in my corner. I know Jim thought the same.
That's so kind. Thank you.
I have to do this. I have to say Shahina Pepper's Burning Hearts Club Band is the only way I can kind of describe what you were up to here. It's really amazing. It's really amazing, and it's so much fun, and it's real understanding that it can be both a competition and a wonderful form of entertainment. You don't forget that as well. But I have to, for the sake of our listeners, get right down to the point of origin, which is when in the name of sweet mother of pearl did you figure out you didn't mind turning your mouth into a 5-alarm fire, and then when did you figure out I can do something with this, like win the whole flippin' thing? Tell us about you. Tell us how you actually took that first bite and went, hey, man, a 5-alarm fire in my mouth is exactly what needs to be happening.
Actually, all just started by accident. It was quite a few years ago when I was at university. We're going back around sort of 12 years ago. And I used to love hot sauce and chilies. At that time, I didn't even know there was a whole world of super hot peppers. We relied on what you could get from the supermarket. You know, the Scotch bonnet, I think, was the hottest you could get in the local market. So I always used to have chilies, and my friends used to take the mickey out of me. And then one of them ended up seeing this competition happening near London, and she said, well, we got to go and, you got to take part. And that's how it kind of started. I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I'd never seen a chili eating competition in my life before, and that's when I discovered that there are hardcore chili heads, and they're super hot peppers, So I ended up going to this competition, lots of pressure because I had like 25 university mates there, and I could not lose, So it was really hardcore because like coming from someone who could just handle maybe a Scotch bonnet, we're doing Trinidad Scorpions back then. That was the world record holder. And I had all these people who were quite intimidating. There was like a fireman saying, you know, like, I can get you, no problem, and all this sort of stuff. I ended up winning this competition, and I didn't actually think anything of it for another couple of years. And then I ended up going to another festival, winning one. And then it was my third competition 2 years later when I ended up being in the newspapers, and they were saying, oh, look at this girl. She's going around winning, and she's never lost. 3 competitions she's done, and I kind of like took it from there, thinking, wow, what can I do with this? Could I do like 10, maybe 15? And then I went from there, and every time I got to my goal, the goalpost went further. So it went to 15 to 25 and now to 100. And during that time, I discovered this whole world of pepper growers, the chili community, hot sauce producers, festivals, chili festivals all over the world. And it got really like, I got so involved in it, you know, every single weekend of the summer I was going to different places in the UK and in Europe. And now, of course, in America as well is huge. And it kind of like just got into my veins, I guess. I got obsessed with it. And then in 2019, I helped set up the League of Fire to officially recognize the world of competitive spicy eating, you know, because there wasn't anything like that exists. So think of Guinness, but only for spicy eating, and that's what League of Fire is. And we're doing these events all over the world. We've just come back from Italy this morning. I'm off to America. I'm so excited on Monday for a couple of events, double events on the weekend, and it's just never ending. And I love how much people really enjoy it, you know. Chili eating competitions, it's not just about competing, it's about the festivals getting together, the community, all sorts of different people come, not just people who actually eat the spice, people who just want to come and taste the hot sauce, you know. They discover new hot sauce producers, they discover the world of chilies, there's entertainment for their family, all sorts of things going on. So it just gets people together, and I absolutely love to be a part of it.
Okay, I have so many thoughts. I want to go back. I want to go way back. Wait, first of all, you said you're coming to America. Where will you be here in the States?
So I'm starting from Monday. I'm heading over to Houston. We've actually got our first ever Houston belt match happening at the Spicy Planet HTX Hot Heads Expo on Friday, the 26th of September. And then that's amazing because that's our first ever Houston belt, and it's going to join the International League of Fire tournament circuit all across Europe, Americas, and Oceania. And then on the Sunday, I'm in Indiana, first time also there, and this is the Wabash Valley Pepper Fest and Hot Sauce Expo, also a first-time event. And we've got people signed up. The competitions are full. There's lots of exciting stuff happening. So that's this weekend, 26th to 28th.
Okay.
And then again, back in America, on the 4th of October, we've got the Pittsburgh Rivers of Fire. And then we've got the Gettysburg, the main one, which is the America's Championship. So all these people who win these contests that we do all across America will then go into the final championship for the year, which is the America's title. And that's happening in Gettysburg on the 11th of October, as well as our world title belt match, which is for the first time coming back to America after 5 years. So that's pretty exciting.
It's super exciting. Okay, good to know. I needed to know where you were so I can come find you because I want to be your best friend. But so let me back up because I want to take. I'm so curious about what home life around the table was like for you growing up. What was it that your taste buds as a child, what were you drawn to as a child, and was your family or dinner time, meal time, whatever, were spicy foods in your family? Were they, did you have a lot of discipline around what you ate, or what did family mealtime look like for you?
You know, that's a really great question. I have my family, my siblings, who can't handle hot food at all. But it's just so interesting because I was a single parent family with my dad, and my dad would like cook food for us. It wouldn't be too hot, but he'd always have like a green chili. I'm not talking about like crazy hot stuff, just like a green chili, and he'd bite a bit of it and then wipe the sweat off his forehead with his handkerchief. And I'd be saying, Dad, you look like you're in torture. Why are you doing this? And he goes, no, trust me, there's just like a great pleasure to be derived from peppers, you know. And I used to look at it thinking, well, I don't know what's wrong with my dad. And then it kind of like just started from there. I ended up like having more and more spice in my daily mules, but nothing crazy like what competitors can do around the world. Nothing like that at all. Just normal sort of spice, chili. I used to love going to my local supermarkets trying to discover like the hottest sauce I could find. And that was until I found chili festivals, and there you could actually find really incredibly hot sauces. But that's how it kind of started for my dad, really watching him eat chili and thinking, why is he doing that? And my family, like the rest of my family, they can't handle hot food at all. My brothers and sisters laugh at me. They actually joke when they come over for dinner saying, you're not going to kill us today, are you? And I say, no, I want you to enjoy the food. So that's how it kind of like started with my dad.
One of the things that I really love about what you've been saying this morning, but also in kind of digging deep into the culture that you kind of immersed yourself in, is that there are a lot of people out there who are very much into, craft beer culture, these kind of boutique beers. And it's a great reminder that one of the things that people can really do to kind of get themselves on a new adventure in life is to find these little things that bring them joy and understand that there are whole cultures built around it. You mentioned earlier the idea of it's really about meeting people and finding other people that have this passion for it. And it just sounds like that the more people play, the more people win, in that they get involved with this and they start coming up and bringing their own ideas to this about how they can put these kind of peppers and chilies and hot sauces into other foods as well. That must be the biggest joy. I mean, it just sounds like this is really about getting to know people who share a love of this and making new friends. It really sounds like that's the real I mean, I know you want to win 100 in a row, 97 and undefeated, but at the end of the day, you really are about liking people. This is the kind of thing you want to do if you want to get a chance to meet people, right?
Absolutely spot on. I mean, I can't even tell you how perfectly you summed that up. It is all about the environment you're in. You're getting all these communities together, people together from different backgrounds. Doesn't matter what your political beliefs are. Doesn't matter what your religion is. You're all getting together for the love of capsaicin. So you like spicy stuff. You get together. Your families get involved. The kids love it. You come and watch a show. The shows are absolutely thrilling to watch, by the way. There's people like biting their nails. It's just so exciting. The chili eating competition. But around that, what sort of comes together, you've got these hot sauce producers who pour their love and heart into making these wonderful artisanal hot sauces that you could never even dream of getting in a supermarket, and you get to try. So people come to festivals and they get to taste everything before they buy. And then there's the pepper growers. You wouldn't even know the kind of peppers that are out there. You know, people are creating them in their back garden and all that sort of stuff. There's so much love and passion that goes into it all. And then obviously you've got the sporting side of it. So it's like any other hobby. You know, you go cycling, you play tennis. It's a hobby, you know. People get really obsessed with it, and people want to travel all over the world. I was in Italy. We had 3 Americans, 1 Australian, 1 South African. You know, people were traveling from all different parts of Europe as well to come to this competition in Italy. And all of us were united there just through the love of peppers, which is pretty exciting. And Legal Fire is what's done that. That's got people from all over different parts of the world coming together in one big group, at different parts of the world, and promoting the chili and the growers, the hot sauce makers, and the festival organizers.
Okay, I want to this. There's a lot more going on here than just this wonderful woman eating peppers. So the League of Fire calls their competitors chili athletes, and that made me smile and chuckle when I first saw it. But then it really made me think, because there's a lot going on here. There's a real physical, there's mental and physical and visualization. There's got to be, mind over matter, a lot going on here. So I want to ask you, equal part, what's harder, the physical burn or the mental game of pushing past it? And how does that pertain to you actually being seen as an athlete in the challenges here?
How do you get in shape?
And she's in shape, by the way.
Thank you very much. Well, absolutely, everybody has their own kind of technique, okay? Personally, whenever I do a competition, never really train, because I actually don't like the flavor of extreme superhots. I think they overpower everything. But there are people out there who are connoisseurs. They absolutely love it. They enjoy it. I like kind of medium chilies like Thai, bird's eye. But I know competitors who take this so seriously. Before going into competition, they will train for weeks, and that will mean sourcing hot peppers from all different growers across America, across the world, and they eat them every single day, like adding a bit extra every time. So they build up a little bit of a tolerance, they get used to the peppers, and then they perform better in a competition. Whereas someone as a newbie who might go into a competition has one pepper and they might panic so much from the pain that they will quit. So these guys do try to train, and it's a pretty serious sport now, because there's a lot riding on it. You've not only got your local road matches that we're doing, like in Houston, for instance, in Terre Haute, in Pittsburgh. You've also got then the America's Championship, which is like an incredible title to have, and then you've got, it works up. So you've got the Intercontinental title where you go up against champions from all different continents. And then the epitome is the world title, where you go head-to-head with one other person who's considered the best chili eater. So this is a massive sport that people build themselves up to take part. So it's a very serious thing, and it's interesting. People do train really hard. And just before a competition, I had the privilege of being with the contestants, and it's so interesting to see how everyone acts differently. Some people are all about the peppers, other people are about sort of meditating. The girl from South Africa, Chile girl about Cape Town, amazing lady, Tanya, she was like all about meditating and stuff. So it's interesting how people do different things, how they tackle being in a competitive environment when it comes to super hot peppers, because it does feel like you're being punched, but with peppers, and it's all about mental fortitude as much as how much you can handle the heat.
Punched with peppers. Hey, Jim, they're commenting over in the chat. So that people can comment on YouTube. We can be heard on iHeart, YouTube, Facebook, all streaming platforms, as well as our website. But specifically over on YouTube, a couple people are commenting and said, at League of Fire, by one are commenting. They're getting in the chat and saying, shout out to the UK Chilli Queen. That's you. But Turker Boson said that his son would be really good at this. He said he doesn't even think his son has taste buds. He said he uses 7-pot Douglas peppers in his chili. I don't know what that means, but it doesn't sound great. And so League of Fire, by the way, says, let's get him signed up. I don't know what you think about other people getting involved on this, but want to let you know what's going on over there.
Oh my God, so absolutely. We have people that we've discovered through League of Fire who've never been involved in the chili community, never tasted a hot sauce, never done a super hot pepper. They come and take part in one of our competitions, because sometimes our competitions do go viral on YouTube and stuff, and then you get lots of new people coming in saying, oh, well, I could do that, I could win this. And it's really absolutely wonderful, because you're kind of increasing the whole sort of pool of people who are coming into the chili community. And we have discovered people through that who are so good at eating super hot peppers, or who can handle the heat so well. Some of them, it's questionable. We don't know for certain, but some of them may not even have the taste receptors to feel the capsaicin heat. So it's every day we are discovering new situations and new people who can handle heat like no other. So whereas you may have a sports person who's been competing for 5 years, going around all over the world competing, taking part in these contests, someone might come along and just blow them out of the water, just being their first contest. You just never know, and that's why it's so exciting.
It is, and I wanted to ask you a question because, I've actually eaten a couple of hot peppers in my day, too. Were there any in regards to the taste and the initial impact? Because people don't understand that some things have a very different kick to them. Has there ever been anything where at first you thought, that's pretty manageable, and then slowly but surely, what is one that surprised you with its kick, where its kick came late or came in a way that you weren't expecting that really threw you? And that can be for good or for bad.
Well, the 7-pot Primo pepper, it actually tastes really nice when you first take the first little bite, right? And you get fooled into this false sense of security. You think, wow, this pepper is actually really delicious. And that's when it blows your mind, because then it attacks your tongue, the receptors on your tongue, and then all your brain starts like going into overdrive, trying to combat like what the hell is this on my tongue, and then the pain gets intense and it builds up, and you feel like you're being attacked in your throat, and you know, as it goes down your chest and everything. So, you know, it's one of those that it just takes you by surprise. And funnily enough, one of your commenters on YouTube, when they said about the 7-pot zoogler, the reason it's called the 7-pot is because one pepper supposedly can heat up 7 pots of chili. So it's a really strong pepper. And that's how it got its name. Yes, exactly. And then this is created by Troy Primo, and it's officially the hottest pepper you can actually get your hands on. There's other peppers that exist, but they're not readily available to the normal public. So this is the pepper at 1.79 million Scoville heat units that anyone in the world can get their hands on, and it blows your mind. And there's varieties to it. There's the chocolate 7-pot Primo. There's all different kind of creations, and people do crosses. And it's an actual science behind it, which is also really interesting when it comes to pepper growing. That is insane.
That's the being able to heat 7 pots of chilies. That kind of blew my mind. But it's the being prepared for that. It's being prepared for knowing what you're about to eat that kind of lands with me, because if you don't know you're about to bite, there's a big difference, correct me if I'm wrong, in knowing what you're about to bite into and accidentally biting into something. I think of my dad, by the way, who I know wasabi is different than peppers, but my dad sat down at a table one day, took a chip and dipped it in guacamole and ate it, and then quickly realized it wasn't guacamole, it was wasabi, and he like fell over and lost it. But that's the same kind of thing here, right? Would you agree that if you're prepared, you can get through it more than if you're not prepared, or is that not real?
No, I completely think that you've got to. No, obviously, when the first time I ever did a super hot pepper, which is the Trinidad scorpion, I had no idea what I was, having in my mouth, and then suffering. I was like, what? I've never experienced anything like that. But as time goes by and gradually you experience more and more peppers, you do mentally and physically, you think, wow, like I know what's coming. So definitely if somebody comes in and they get hit by the shock factor of a super hot, never having experienced it before, will definitely be a big shock to the system.
Although I do want to add for our listeners, if anytime anybody offers you anything called a Trinidad scorpion pepper, you might have expectations of severe pain are going to follow. I mean, it would be one thing if it was called the My Little Pony pepper. You might be actually surprised at what happens afterwards. But that's the truth of it. I wanted to ask you in regards to your own diet, though. We talked about some of the stuff you like on a daily basis. What is your idea of a wonderful meal, though? I mean, outside of the competition, if you're sitting down to have a great meal with friends, what is your go-to comfort food?
So I'm an absolute foodie at heart, and for me, like traveling around the world, doing these competitions and festivals and all that sort of stuff, I think a lot of it about this is trying different foods. So when I was in America, for instance, I actually learned about like Southern comfort foods. So there was like the shrimp and grits. Absolutely love it, right? So then I come back. This is my thing. Anywhere I go in the world, I try something that I love. I have to come back and recreate it. So I came back and I was thinking, like, I'm going to do shrimp and grits now. So I kind of like picked up some tips online and speaking to a couple of friends. And then I made the dish. And what I do then is just add a bit of hot sauce. So I'll pick a hot sauce that I feel like would go well with the dish. And I'd add like a couple of drops just to sort of, just add a bit of heat to it. But I really like the idea of having food anywhere I go. It's a bit like salt, because my taste buds are a little bit, for some reason, I'm a super taster. As they discovered on BBC, I was doing a documentary. So for me, like I need extra salt, extra garlic, extra chili, just to kind of really taste the food and all that. So whenever I have like mild to medium food, I always have to add a bit of salt. And it feels so rude because, obviously you can't do that when you go to a restaurant and things like that. You have to try it first. So I kind of do that with chilies as well. I'll definitely show the etiquette of trying the food first, and then if I feel like, yes, like, okay, can do it with a bit of heat, I'll have some kind of super hot pepper powder or some kind of hot sauce with me, add that to the food, and that's my idea of a brilliant dish. But I'll never, like, overpower it. So I don't want to take away the flavor or the actual intention of what the dish is supposed to be like.
Well, and I will tell you as well, Late for Work, that's a handle over there commenting in the chat. They say that League of Fire, which you're with, they say this is an awesome gateway to a fun and beautiful community that can give you an adrenaline rush right from your home. So to keep it interesting when you're still at home. And speaking of keeping it interesting, now we know what kind of food you like. We have a couple more minutes here. I want people to understand you as a whole. Do you have another line of work or an additional passion or something that completes your whole package, or are you full-time pepper lady?
Well, I'm an interior. Well, I actually studied engineering at university, would you believe it? And then I did property developing. I'm an interior designer, and I absolutely love that part of my life. But since eating peppers and trying to sort of create League of Fire, it's become pretty much a full-time job, and it demands that kind of time off me, because not only am I sort of communicating with people and setting up these events all over the world, not just in Europe or in my time zone, but also in America and Australia. So I'm pretty much out most of the time, 16 to 18 hours communicating with people all over the world. And it's become a passion, and it's kind of pretty much, I'm obsessed about it. So it's become a full-time thing for me now. Late for Work, great people. They're the ones who are putting on the Blaze for the Brave, our main League of Fire event in America, where we have not only the America's Championship, the World Title Championship for the first time in America after 5 years, having gone and done the circuit all over different parts of the world. And as well as the Gettysburg Road Belt match, which is all happening on the 11th and the 12th of October.
Shahina Waseem, I can't tell you how much we appreciate you being here. Guys, don't forget also that a lot of peppers and a lot of spices actually are great salt substitutes and add a lot more flavor, and that can help your health as well. It's been great having you here. You're welcome back anytime. Go defend that undefeated belt of yours, and you're welcome back anytime. Another new best friend for Lindsay. Thank you, dear.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Head on over to leagueoffire.com to find out more. To find out more on the beautiful Shahina, head on over to ukchilliqueen.com. Trust me, you're going to want to head over to ukchilliqueen.com and find out more about her.